Chelsea Football Club were humiliated by Arsenal last night, and the reality is the outpour of emotion from fans is at an all-time high. But the in-sources from the club coming out left, right and centre, it's a little bit difficult to know what to believe and what to hear. Well, you know what I did? I collated everything. We've had Pochettino's conditions out of what has to happen for him to get sacked. We've had Pochettino making active demands. We've had Pochettino making excuses. We've had Ruben Amorim and De Zero being linked with the job. We've had absolute chaos, right? And then the day before the game, I didn't make this video, but Romelu Lukaku's return is on the card to Chelsea. Can this club get any more ridiculous? Can this club become any more topsy-turvy? But we're going to break into it. We're going to talk about it because what Arsenal Football Club did to Chelsea is the single biggest humiliation I have suffered as a Chelsea fan. We have lost 6-0, I think it was, under Maurizio Sarri to Manchester City. My reasoning was that's just a one-off game, and more importantly, Manchester City can do that to anybody. But what Arsenal have did to us is the biggest scalp that they have had in the last 20 years to a big six side. It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Part of being a fan is sometimes accepting that we suck, but we're still going to be here supporting them. So what I need from all of you is, if you're here to vent, if you're here to enjoy what I'm saying, just hit the like button. If you're here to support the channel and want reasonable Chelsea content in the sense that I don't bite my tongue, I don't look for a job with the club, I say how I feel and I always mean what I say. I also say subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, in the comments below, are you Pochettino out and who would your replacement be? Because I don't like Poch out, no replacement. So let's get into it. After the game yesterday, Maurizio Pochettino came out and he made a lot of comments. And what I really don't like now is how the standards have really fallen, right? There's almost an acceptance that we're going to lose. Not from the fans, from the players, and more importantly from the manager. They are almost programmed into accepting that defeats are normal. But the thing is, this is what happened when defeats have become normal. They've played 45 games this year, they've only won 22. So drawing and losing points is just the normality. It's a 1 and 2 event. Like every second time they go into a pitch, they drop points. This has become acceptable. We've conceded 70 goals in 45 games. So why am I shocked? Why am I meant to be shocked? Like 70 goals in 45 games. Well, Maurizio Pochettino has come out and said this, right? He said the club needs to immediately change their strategy. The club needs to understand that the direction that we're going in is not acceptable. And the reason it's not acceptable is because we need to change something. We need to be smart. We need to adapt. Whilst all of this sounds great, right? Poch, you're one of the biggest problems. And this is where I need people to understand. People are saying, Alex, he's not the biggest problem. We need to buy more experienced players. Guys, we can buy the most experienced players as long as we play the way Pochettino wants us to play with the midfield gap so open. We're just going to have a Manchester United problem. Manchester United have Casemiro, Bruno and Kobe Mainoo, right? Bruno experienced, Casemiro experienced. Why is the midfield so open? Tactical decisions. Yes, do Chelsea need more quality? 100% you agree, I agree, everybody agree. However, the quality is there and it's a matter of getting the best out of some of the quality that you already have and adding pieces to push the team over the edge. And Maurizio Pochettino isn't doing that. We're conceding too many goals. We are too open to play against. We are clueless in both ends from set pieces, and Maurizio Pochettino wants to cover that by saying it's a youth project. And then he said, without Cole Palmer, we don't have anyone to play through the lines. And this really pissed me off because Carney Chukwuemeka's there. And what I know more than anything is you, Maurizio Pochettino, started him against Liverpool and you started him against West Ham. And you've been referring to him throughout the season as somebody that can be in between the lines and link up play. Well, why is this kid not playing anymore? Why is it that whenever this kid is fit, ready to go, you don't give him opportunity? Why is it you religiously play Enzo, Caicedo and Gallagher and yet you complain that you have no midfield options? It's because Pochettino's not using the best out of the resources he has. And I think that's a fair adjustment from me. The club needs to change in the way that they buy players. I agree. I think there are too many youngsters. We need to alter the way we do business. It needs a tweak. But at the same time, the manager needs to get more out of what he has. Decisions have to be better. In-game management needs to be better. Halftime team talks need to be better. And what's really annoying for me is, apparently, according to Ben Jacobs, and take it with a pinch of salt, there are 2 members on the board that if the vote was happening today, Maurizio Pochettino is not getting sacked. And for me, I am flabbergasted by that decision, because what more does he have to do? And the reason I think he's not getting sacked is because European things are in contention. This is pathetic. So after the initial flurry in our post-match, with all the briefs coming out, there was more that came out throughout the day. And today, what came out was very interesting. So Sammy Mokbel said, one of the reasons that Mauricio Pochettino is still in a job is Chelsea don't want to make a change during the season. We know that. It doesn't make sense for me right now with 6 games to go sacking him, apart from just giving fans peace of mind that they're going to do something different next year. I just feel like if you bring in an interim, the season's done. The season's literally done, and the season's already maybe done. They are still holding faith that Chelsea will somehow, in these 6 games, will pick up 4 wins, and somehow Chelsea are going to get top 6. Top 6 means Europa League football. And I don't know what has convinced them this could happen, but they believe it. So they believe, they believe. Sammy Mokbel also came out and said, there are 3 things that they are very impressed with what Pochettino has done this year. Developed Gusto, he's developed Palmer, he's had good Nicholas Jackson development, and overall he believes that he's got a good relationship with the players. So replacing him causes instability when at this moment in time they're taking steps in a positive direction with youth. Secondly, the home forms are drastically improved. Whilst it's drastically improved, it's nowhere near, in my opinion, good enough to say it's an improvement, right? It's like saying, oh, we won 3 out of 12, but now we've won 8 out of 12. That is a massive improvement. Chelsea Football Club should be winning 10 out of 12 games at home. Our home form in historic terms has always been impenetrable. It's been amazing. We have been absolutely phenomenal at Stamford Bridge. Yet, people want us to say, oh, whatever we've won this year is acceptable. It's not. We need to be better. We need to do better. We've lost too many games at home. Villa, Nottingham Forest, Wolves. There's so many that just come into my mind. It's just frustrating at this moment in time that we're using excuses that aren't realistic. And it's metrics that don't make sense. Like, what's the difference right now, yeah, that from this Chelsea and last year's Chelsea? We're 6 points ahead. What, we're going to celebrate that 6 points ahead is a good achievement. And the final one, which really annoyed me, was 2 trips to Wembley. Guys, cup runs are beautiful. They're the icing on the cake, right? Good clubs have good cup runs alongside a good league form. We don't have good league. Like, we don't. We're 7th or we're 8th for a reason. Like, are we even 8th? I think we're 9th. I don't know anymore. Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, we aren't good. Just because we have cup runs that get us to Wembley, that could be multiple factors. That could be, oh, the team just gets up for it, for a big occasion. Or we've had lucky draws. Because what I am going to say is, whilst we've beat Brighton's, whilst we've beat Newcastle's, whilst we beat Aston Villa, the times we've come up against the big 6, we struggle, bruv. Like, we do. Like, let's be honest. Liverpool in the final against a weak team, bottled it. Manchester City should have beat them, bottled it. Then 2 negatives are, and these are negatives that I think are genuine. They don't like how outspoken Pochettino is. They have a big problem with how much he's moaning publicly. They don't like it because what it does is cause disruption and puts pressure on them. And it puts him in a good light as if, look, fans, I'm asking for what you want. And they don't like that. They prefer it to be the other way around. A second thing is team selections. They've had problems with his team selection. They don't believe that some of the decisions he makes are eyebrow raising. Yo, I am of the same mindset. You have the Sassy play right back when you have Trevor Chalobah on the pitch. Why don't you just put the Sassy at centre back, put Trevor Chalobah at right back? You have a youth right back, yet he trusts Alfie Gilchrist at right back rather than a Cobham graduate at right back. Yes, he's a Cobham graduate, but he's never played right back even throughout his career as a youth prospect. Like, for me, it's little decisions like this that infuriate me, so I can only imagine how much they infuriate them. Then he came out with comments such as about Romelu Lukaku, and these comments must have absolutely blown the mind of the owners. Of course, there's an option to keep him. At this moment in time, he's still our player. He's still on our book. We are going to discuss it in the summer. What are you going to discuss in the summer? It's just false news. He needs to say, look, he's not here at the moment. We don't want to comment on the situation. Why is he trying to fuel a Romelu Lukaku return when we all know it's not going to happen? I would want Lukaku to return. Why? Because I got Nicholas Jackson up top. I can't be a chooser when I'm begging for a normal number 9. Lukaku up top scores 2 goals yesterday. Lukaku up top scores the header 100%, and Lukaku finishes that one-on-one. And the reason why I say Lukaku finishes that one-on-one, because Lukaku is a good player. I think there's this narrative that Lukaku's a bum. Lukaku's a very good player. He's just not one of the best in the world. He's a very good player, and we need to appreciate that. And we would be lucky to have Romelu Lukaku in this iteration at Chelsea. The problem with Lukaku is he's a drama queen. Like with Lukaku, he has to be the center of attention. But in this team, he can be the center of attention. We would have to build it around him. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of an issue, right? And Poch coming out with stuff like that, they won't like it. They want to get rid of Lukaku ASAP. I promise you. Sami Mokbel came out, and so did Matt Law. And apparently, Chelsea, if they do make a move, 2 managers are on their lips. Number 1 being De Zero. They believe De Zero can coach this side, and so do I, right? I really do believe that he could coach this side. I don't know whether De Zero is the long-term solution, but it is what it is. The other one is Ruben Amorim. It makes me very happy to say that, man, because Ruben Amorim should be on this list. He is too good of a manager for us not to consider. Sami Mokbel and Matt Law have both said they would be top of Chelsea's list, and both they believe could be at Chelsea. Matt Law went as far as saying top coaches have been basically telling them agents to tell Chelsea they would be interested. Agents and sources are saying this is a job that attracts people. This is a job that wants to be one of the ones. And what I find very interesting is when people tell me this isn't an attractive job. Let me just tell you something about this job. The pieces are there for somebody to come in and make this team top 4 easily. Literally, easily, this team could be top 4. Let me just break it down for you. Right back, you have Gusto and Jane. Fortunate. Centre back, you have Fofana, who, if he all of a sudden stays fit, Colwell and Badiashile. Badiashile looked like an absolute amazing centre back last year. Now in this structure, he looks horrible. Yes, you got Kukurea, you can buy yourself a new left back. That would be one of the investment points. And maybe a new centre-back if you don't like Badiashile. Leave at Colwell's class. Midfield, you have Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, Carney. What more do you need? What more do you need? You've got players that can play football, are mobile, have a high IQ, good technical qualities. What more do you need? The wingers, Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling, who is an all-timer in the Premier League, basically, in the prime of his career, that has been diminished to a point where people think he's a bum now because of these tactics. How is it he can score goals under Pep with tap-ins and be, somewhat productive, but in this team, he's horrible. He's not better than Mikhailo Mudryk. What are people talking about? It's poor coaching. And Christopher Nkunku. You're telling me Palmer and Nkunku as your starters, as your starter wingers aren't good enough? Nonsense. Number 9, listen, worst case scenario, listen to Poch and bring Lukaku in. You're telling me that's not a good team. This team needs 3 additions. 3 additions. A left back, a centre back, and a striker. Get that little L shape of experience. You are going to have a banging team. And you know what? Coaches know this, because people look at that team and go, how is Poch underachieving with that team? And it's infuriating when people tell me, oh, this is a horrible job, who would want it? What do you mean, who would want this job? And the funny thing is, with this Ruben Amorim saga, he's not going to West Ham. What ended up happening? He tried to play the bluff card. He basically said, I'll publicly meet West Ham. They went and sold him the biggest dream. They said to him, you can buy whoever you want within budget. We'll build a team in and around your shape. Whatever you want, Ruben, we will give you. He said, no, thank you. I'm not interested. Liverpool said, cool. We're not going to cave to your demands, and we are going to get Schlott. Schlott from Feyenoord. You get Schlott, we'll get Amorim. I'll tell you, we will be the happier people. I promise you with that. Guys, this was the Kavkas View. I am still very frustrated. I don't think there'll be a video tomorrow. I actually know, because I'm going out with some friends. So I won't be at home to make a video. But I hope you lot enjoyed it. And if you guys want to know the strengths and weaknesses of De Zero and Amorim, it's over here. If you want to go and watch my review for yesterday's game, I'm not going to lie to you, it is quite entertaining purely for the fact I'm representing a lot of fans. A lot of fans I've spoken to felt the way I felt yesterday. So if you want to go and listen to some of your own thoughts in coming out of my mouth, go listen into it, enjoy it, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Kavkas View, peace out, I'm out. Always support your team, boys. Always support your team. This is going to be very difficult for the next 6 games. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, we are going to be broken. The boys deserve our faith. And we love this club. There's a reason I'm sitting here doing this, because I love this club and I love what I do here. So support the boys. Peace out. I'm out. Go watch the other videos.